Yes, indeed. Welcome into another episode of Total Hockey Now here on the Total Hockey Now YouTube channel. That over there is at Fuzzy Chris 91. I am at Pucking Thoughts. Adam Bernard, Christopher Perez over there. Our buddy Ant Rivera 86, Anthony Rivera, for the Crazy World Baseball Classic, including an upcoming USA Canada match. Make sure you go check out the Subway to Shea podcast. Once World Baseball Classic and Mets spring training and season's underway, he will be back with us. So that will we look forward to that. But he's busy over there as the cat decides he's had enough. Going to jump down and chair. Let's get right down the brass tacks here. One of the things we've been spending a lot of time talking about, and we'll get to our picks later on today, like we always do. 5:35 p.m. Eastern time. We'll get there. Before then, we're going to give our final standings predictions. But the first thing I would like to discuss is something I wish I had the ability to partake in, and that is the McDonald's mini sticks that are being currently part of like value meals, I guess, or whatever they're called up there. And our buddy over here, Mr. Perez, Fuzzy Chris here, he's quite the tear. What was the most recent addition?
I got this little bad boy, which I know you will enjoy. I am now 5 for 5 on these. I had gone to the office on Tuesday. There's a McDonald's not far. I was like, you know what I mean? Different location, so I wasn't sure what I was going to get into, but I was like, hey, we're here. We're going to do it. And I opened it. I saw Celebrini. I sent you a picture as well as Ant, and I was like, now I'm 5 for 5 right now. I'm cooking. Literally, I cannot be stopped. I'm the Buffalo Sabres right now of trying to pull these. I am 2 away from what I need to achieve. I am a Sam Reinhart and a Cale Makar mini stick away from it. So
the only thing that'll stop you is the declining health with eating the McDonald's so often to get the sticks. We'll see what happens first. But nonetheless, you're on quite the tear here. Like you said, like the Sabres.
Literally, I haven't stepped on a scale since, but to be fair, like you know what I mean? Like this is like, we're doing it now for the love of the game. Now we're just like, now I'm going to try to do it organically. I'm not going to try to see, get on one of those Facebook groups, kind of trade into it. I'm going to see if I can do it organically, but I also got to be cost conscious about it as well. Cause these little trios they got going here, they don't listen. They know people want the stick. You can't buy it by itself. So you can't just go in and do like the Tim Hortons hockey cards where you just buy a bunch of them for like $1.99 and nobody cares. You got to actually buy the meal. And, the meals are all right. But what we're really looking forward to is the sticks that we pull.
Well, we look forward to the next pull next time you go. Hopefully we get, like you said, a Reinhardt or a Makar. If you could do the 7 for 7, that is, you might just have to retire from a few things at that point. You're like, this is where I'm peaking right now. One of the things we're going to do today before we get to our picks coming up in about a half hour, I wanted to run through and, we got about, a month left in the season, a little bit more than that. We're going to do our final standings predictions. Is this the last real chance to do before the picture starts to get clearer? So first up here, let's do the NHL Central Division here, because I feel like this one is going to be the easiest one to figure out. We'll start with Colorado, no problems there, right? They're going to finish top. They did what they had to do at the deadline. They're in first place.
That's correct. Yes.
And we're going to put Dallas. I know Minnesota and Dallas are close, but I feel like Dallas we see Minnesota surpassing them, or Dallas safe for number 2.
I mean, it's been an absolute run here for Dallas. They're 9-0-1 in their last 10. Not that Minnesota hasn't been good. They're 7-2, and they went out and added everybody that they could possibly find to help that bottom 6. But I think Dallas, Rantanen should be coming back soon. I don't know if he's playing tonight. I still got to check, but that would be the biggest addition to their team. Would be healthy Mikko Rantanen. Rupe Hintz, I think, is still on the shelf. He's still not there, but I mean, it's peak. Rupe Hintz, is he going to play or is he not going to play season? So I think Dallas can weather the storm. So I would also have it set up like that, 2 and 3. But I wouldn't be at this point. It's Minnesota and Dallas jockeying for home ice advantage. That's all it is. So one or the other doesn't make a difference.
Currently, right now, the Stars have 90 points. The Wild have 87, but Dallas also has the game in hand. Colorado has 95 points and has a game in hand on Dallas and 2 in hand on Minnesota. So everything pointing towards those two teams that's shaking out like that. Again, no disagreements here. I think Utah's done enough and made some improvements at the deadline that they're going to finish fourth. No problems there.
We're all good for now.
All right. So now we go over to the other side of the bracket. I think Nashville, because they didn't sell at the deadline, they still have Saros. They still, they sold some bottom six pieces, but the guys that are driving the play are still there. The Stamkoses, the Marchessaults, Ryan O'Reillys, and, so like I feel like it's also because I don't trust these other three. Maybe Winnipeg could maybe move up, but to me, Nashville's fifth.
I don't think Nashville is going to move up to catch Utah. I don't think any of those bottom teams are really going to catch them either. I think kind of Nashville just sits there. If they play 500 hockey from here until the end of the season, that's probably where they deserve to finish anyway. So,
and they're also still in the mix for that second wild card spot right now. Like I know, like we kind of poo-poo them, but
they're frauds. They're frauds. I mean, they're just like they're there, they're hanging out, they're doing whatever they need to do. But I expect any other team in the Pacific, if one of them gets hot, they have more skill, I would say, than the Preds do, and more consistency. So I'm not expecting much from Nashville down the stretch.
So the Jets trail them by 4 points with a game in hand. St. Louis by 6 points, same amount of games played. Blackhawks have 7 points back at 59, also same amount of games played. So I guess that, like we said, this before we came on the air, this one's probably the easiest of the four. So there, and then it's just a matter of who do you think sucks more down the stretch, St. Louis or Chicago? That's what this really comes down to. That's what.
Listen, it's probably going to be Chicago. They are god awful on the road. Spencer Knight has come back down to earth because he can only be a superhero for so long. They sold off any defensive piece that was of any value to Edmonton, right? You think of Doc going the other way, Dickinson,
they brought in Derek Pouliot from the Rangers to help fill a void. That's where they're at.
I mean, it's not that St. Louis is any better, but St. Louis still has Thomas and Kyrou and Holloway. And listen, the less, Jordan Binnington is, the clock has strike 12. He's back to being terrible. So there's a little bit more offense on the Blues side, and it'll probably be a battle of terrible, but I think Chicago is going like the step that they needed to take. I don't think they're there just yet. So I think they finished last in their division, which is no fault to them. They're just not where they need to be right now.
All right. So, like we said, this is an easy one. This is what the standings look like now. There's really no reason to really think anything's going to change here with any of those teams. Next, though, let's do the other one that I think is going to be relatively simple. So we got time to discuss the ones that will be a little bit more difficult. It's the Metropolitan division here. Let's go to the Eastern Conference for a bit. And no reason to think, even though they didn't really do much at the deadline, and apparently there's some rumblings in the locker room that they're not happy about that, they're going to finish first. I think we can safely say that. Best team in the East. They're gunning for number one. They got to watch Buffalo and Tampa. But I still think they finished top seed in the conference.
Yeah, no, I don't think they contrary to whatever might be said there, in previous years they've done things and that hasn't really worked out for them. So I don't think the big deadline acquisition would have you know what I mean? They did it with Gensel. That didn't really work out. And again, for no fault of their own, they tried with Mikko Rantanen. That part didn't work out as well. I think it's a question of these players and this management getting over the hump. So yes, you bring in Delorier, some toughness, some bottom kind of lineup stuff. But at the same time, this Carolina team is good, and they have to put it together. You got to put it together to get over the hump. You know what kind of team you are. Just do it. Simple as that.
Now, I think we agree second and third will be the Islanders and the Penguins, but in which order? Now, if you look at the current standings for that right now, the Pittsburgh Penguins sit. They have a game in hand over the Islanders, but they're both at 79 points. Islanders have more victories. Regulation wins goes to the Pittsburgh Penguins, though, so that being the tiebreaker there, both sitting at 79. I do think the Islanders end up finishing second and the Penguins end up finishing third. They have the Crosby injury. The Islanders, the addition to Shen to the team in their top six. They're playing good hockey. I watched them last Saturday night against the Sharks. Played a tough game. I think they ultimately emerge and end up getting home ice against Pittsburgh in the first round.
They have, I mean, their goaltending is like in a whole other stratosphere. Like what Ilya Sorokin has been able to do has just propelled this team to a level that I don't think many people, even Islander fans, thought that they could achieve. But this team has gotten here. I don't see the goaltending slipping. They went out, they got Shen. They're again relatively healthy. You know, Pittsburgh, again, older team. They know what they got to do to get there, but I'm still not convinced that their goaltending is where it needs to be. So if you're asking me to pick a goalie, I'm picking, you know, just I'm picking, sorry, Sorokin over whatever the Penguins could possibly throw out there.
Our buddy State of Survivals has the Islanders finishing first. Of course, he is an
Yeah.
Islanders fan, but yeah, it would be great to see them climb. I just don't see that. That would also mean Carolina would need to go into a pretty decent slump, and I don't see that happening. Ilya Sorokin plus 105 to win the Vezina. Andrei Vasilevsky minus 145 over at FanDuel. Now looking at the bottom here for fourth, I think Columbus has earned their spot here. We'll talk wild cards once we get to the second division in each conference. We'll do Atlantic next year. But a little spoiler alert, I've got the Blue Jackets getting the second wild card spot, Eastern Conference here. They're a different team under Rick Bowness. They're playing well. I think they're in a position to take whoever falls out between Detroit or Boston, I would say.
I think they could finish third in the Metro if they
Wow. Hey.
if they put it together. It's like they're 6-1-3 in their last 10. It's not that they haven't been
back of the Islanders with a game in hand and have the same
and it's not like they've been playing terribly. I mean, the Islanders are 7-3. The Penguins are just they lose, but they lose in overtime. So they collect the loser point, which we are going to see a lot of down the stretch here, right? Penguins are 4-2-4. So they have 4 wins in those 10 games, but it looks like 6. But again, how long is Sidney Crosby going to be out? You know, when does that start to, you know, feel the effects? We haven't really seen the Penguins completely fall apart. Their depth pieces have been very, very good, which is something we haven't been able to say in a while. But this team behind Rick Bowness, they play differently. They are much better defensively. They are conscious about playing defensively. All of a sudden, Elvis Merzlikins is not as terrible as he once was. So they probably can be a wild card team, but it wouldn't shock me if they finished third and overtook the Penguins per se. I don't see Carolina. I don't see the Islanders falling through, but I'm not quite there yet with the Penguins.
So this is going to cinch the Islanders here for the second spot. Is the toughest remaining schedule is the Pittsburgh Penguins. The second toughest remaining schedule, Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, when you look at some of the toughest opponents remaining, Pittsburgh's got the Avalanche twice, Dallas, Carolina twice, Tampa once, Detroit once, Islanders once, thanks to tankathon.com here. Columbus has 3 games against the Hurricanes, 1 against the Sabres, 2 against the Canadiens, 2 against the Bruins, 1 against the Islanders, Red Wings. Because no Crosby, screw it. Let's have a little fun here.
Oh.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Now, let's make this one a little crazy. Excuse me.
All Listen, right. those games 3 games against Carolina, those divisional games at this point of the year, they're 4-point swings. You can't lose to teams in your division, and if you do, make sure it's in overtime. That's why, if you're that loser point is going to be very, very common here down the stretch. But you got to beat teams in your division at this point of the year. You cannot give up an inch. So if you have to go 2-1 against Carolina just to keep up, and then you got to beat the teams that you should beat, and then keep pushing against teams that you're not, or you're jockeying with position with.
All right, so I don't think we have any arguments about the Capitals finishing 5th here. Flyers currently are tied for 5th and have 2 games in hand. The Devils are 5 points back of the Capitals and the Flyers. The Rangers are 11 points back. So let's not spend too much time on how we think the bottom 3 teams are going to do, because that's, it's not too important. But with the way the Rangers are playing lately, they've this Zibanejad, Lafreniere, Perreault line. Everything seems to be clicking, at least for now. Now that Shesterkin's back, now that they actually have a consistent line, it's one line, but it's playing decent. can they maybe move up in the standings, or does that Devils have enough? The Flyers, or we don't give them too much respect, but yet here they are tied with the Capitals at 71 points. So like, are we just going to kind of go Philly, Devils, Rangers here, or do you see a little bit of a shakeup?
Man, I mean, the Flyers are frauds. They are the most uneventful team we can watch ever. They don't score. They defend, I guess, pretty decently, but the Devils are finally healthy. Jack Hughes is there. I think that makes a difference. Markstrom's been playing a little bit better. I know you're trying to feel good about the Rangers here. They have one good line, and you know what I mean? Like, we're stricken for hope here, but this team probably has last in the Metro. Like, they got a great goalie. They had a lot of injuries this year, but I mean, you said it, they're a one-line team. For a team that has aspirations to maybe make it to the conference final, that we're now at, hey, they got one good line. So
Philly has the fifth toughest schedule remaining, where when you look at what the Rangers and the Devils have remaining, it's a little easier. I'll buy that the Rangers are pretty much a basement team. There's really no hope for getting out, but I think the Devils have the 18th toughest schedule. So what's that make it? 14th easiest. So yeah, I'll take that. Be settled with these, because now it's going to start getting tough, and we got picks in 15 minutes. So
I'm perfectly fine with the Rangers being at the bottom of anything.
yeah, I'm aware. I know you not as you don't dislike them as much as the Leafs, but
Listen,
all right. Now I think for the Atlantic, we should almost build from the bottom up here. Let's go Toronto in last place. No problems there. Putting Florida in seventh. Any problems there? Do we see a surge? I don't think so. I think this team is ready to get on the golf course in April. Leafs there. So now it becomes sixth, fifth, fourth, and that fifth is important because it's whether them or the Penguins get that wild card spot for that. Because I think the Atlantic's strong enough that your top four are in. Who are we having win the division right now? Buffalo or Tampa?
man, I mean, the Sabres are a wagon right now. I don't see where they slow down. I don't see where they just give an inch. I mean, Buffalo they're moving right now. Their offense is clicking, their defense is good, they're scoring goals, they're getting good goaltending. They will punch you in the face if they need to do that. Man, what a turnaround it's been for that entire organization, because I didn't think they were gonna get there.
I thought that, like, at some point, like, all right, they're going to come back down to earth, regress to the mean a little bit. Maybe they get the playoff drought snapped, but to win you have 4 points over Tampa. Granted, Tampa has 2 games in hand right now, but Buffalo beats the Lightning like head to head. So, I think as much as you don't like, it's not an easy, okay, it's definitely Buffalo over Tampa, because you do want to give a veteran-laden team, a guy with Vasilevsky, who's the odds-on favorite right now to win the Vezina, want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But there's no, like, the time to stop doubting Buffalo as a team. It's time. Like, if you don't want to say, like, okay, that you don't think maybe they're going to win the cup, I'll buy that. Sometimes you got to get to the playoffs and get some experience before you get all the way. But to not have them in the conversation, so I'm actually okay as long as these are your top 2 in the Atlantic, whichever order you go. For the sake of this show, we'll go Buffalo 1, Tampa 2. I think we're okay with that.
I will accept it. Yes.
All right. Do you want to go this way? Do you want to go the other way?
I have Montreal finishing second in that division, but I mean,
I got them finishing third.
And listen, there's a couple of question marks around the team and whatnot, but for the first time in what feels like a million years, they're not brutally injured, right? Like, I was holding my breath. Cole Caulfield didn't play last night, but he's pounding through whatever illness he has contracted. But Montreal is a high scoring team. Defensively, it's still a rocket, right? It's still learning. It can be a roller coaster, but I think we finally saw what everybody has been saying, and that is that Marty St. Louis is going to run 2 goalies, and it's going to be it's going to be Jakub Dobes and Jacob Fowler. Like, you call Fowler up specifically to play the back-to-back in a divisional game, right? Which we've discussed is a 4-point swing. You needed that win. You could not get it. And the team was not confident enough in starting Montembeault. So they said, hey, bring up Fowler, who was exactly as advertised, right? He was fantastic in that game. Helps Montreal get the win. There's some rumblings that he may go back down to the AHL. This is the time of year where you try to make sure the cap makes sense so you could call up players later on, right? Don't forget the AHL playoffs will probably finish before Montreal is expected to be in the playoffs and maybe make a push, so you can go and get some of those players that are down there. There's something to be said here. It's not quite done just yet. So I'll leave them third here. Again, doesn't matter because they're going to end up playing Tampa Bay. I do not want to play Buffalo in that first round. I don't.
Yeah, you don't like a team if they continue, even if they cool off a tiny bit, but still play at a high level. Yeah. That is not a team I want to see in the first round. I would take my chances in the Marty St. Louis Bowl. By the way, watching Jacob Fowler for the last minute of that game against Ottawa last night, just
kid's built different. Ice in his veins. A true just square to every shot. Doesn't, the complete opposite of Dobes, right? Like I watch enough hockey, but Dobes sometimes looks like a fish out of water. He's swimming in that blue paint. And, Fowler's calm, cool, collected, and he's square to shots, and he's not worried. Nothing phases him, which is
Ottawa tested him. They moved the puck around. They threw everything they could. Who's shooting the puck, where it's coming from. They crowd the crease, go through traffic. They tried everything.
Listen, Ottawa lost because Linus Ullmark was not the better goalie. That's it. They had a lead, and they squander it. That third goal, like you can't be giving up a rebound there, and it can't be dropping right in front of you for Demidov to just tap into the net. Can't be doing that. So, the Senators are where they are because of the goaltending. It's let them down. But listen, Ottawa keeps going out to get goalies, and then when they show up, they're bad. So, at one point, it's like it's not everybody else. It might be you.
State of survival. What the hell happened to Montembeault? I just think, sometimes goalies need a reset. Sometimes they need time,
I think he played well last year. And sometimes for goalies, it's the amount of starts that you get, right? Some goalies need to constantly, play to kind of feel that, get into the rhythm, right? I didn't think he should have been playing 60 plus games, but here we are. And there was a stretch last year where, he needed to sit for a bit. I don't think he's a starter. I think he came here. He was serviceable in the role that was needed during the time that it was needed, right? This was a rebuilding team. They needed somebody to go out there and just play games. The same thing with Jake Allen, right? A good soldier. If Montreal wins the Stanley Cup, his name doesn't go on it, but he was there when it wasn't pretty. And it's the same thing for Montembeault. The problem is it's more between the ears than anything else. And I just don't think that he can figure it out right now. And the team's got to you got to make a decision, right? It's about winning games. And we saw that yesterday. They do not have the confidence in him. I would be surprised if there's 20 games left. I'd be surprised if he played over 5.
Now we got 3 more spots to figure out here, and this gets a little hairy here. Now I'd love to give it to just hand it to the Detroit Red Wings because they've done enough this season, but no 2 more weeks and no Dylan Larkin, and I believe I saw Andrew Kopp also out. So you're 2 of your centers now, 2 of your top 3 centers out. That's tough, especially with Boston right there and Ottawa challenging. I think we could still pencil them in for 4, but they're going to be in trouble. They're going to have to look over their heels.
I give it to Boston. They're down 2 centermen, and there's only so much Steve Yzerman can do, but we both agreed that they needed to go out and add some center depth, and they didn't. And again, you cannot predict injuries, but you got to be ready for them, right? Like you have to be ready if something happens. If the boat starts to turn, you got to be able to rear it back and, continue on the path. Now you're asking this team to do a lot of that heavy lifting without their captain and without some center depth. And it's not just taking somebody and throwing them in and saying, oh, let the rest of these guys pick up. No, because Detroit was already kind of like middle of the pack offensively at 5-on-5. Their power play has bailed them out a lot. John Gibson has bailed them out a lot. The goaltending has been very good. So if it comes down now to this race, like Boston's healthy-ish, but they also have a decent amount of depth. The blue line looks good. The goaltending's been fine. Nothing crazy, but I don't like that the Red Wings are now down a captain, down a veteran centerman, and they don't really have anything else to come back them up.
So because we have to get one more division here. So we're going to put Boston fourth. I still think Detroit is fifth and Ottawa sixth because of the goaltending issues. You don't get steady goaltending from Ottawa. They'll be right there at the end. They'll be sniffing it, but we got, a sixth place team can't get in. Between Detroit, we'll give Boston the benefit of the doubt. They'll have the top wild card.
Yeah.
Who gets that second wild card? Is it Detroit or Pittsburgh?
Oh, because we had Columbus.
We have Columbus as the 3 in the Metro. It's tough.
It probably comes down to game 81 and 82 in some sense if you think about it. But I mean, I'm going to give the edge to Sidney Crosby all day, every day, no matter what. I mean, he's you know what I mean? If the Red Wings miss the playoffs, that would be unfortunate. But again, this is Steve Yzerman's fault all the way around, right? You had the chance. You had the rumored chance to go out and acquire Quinn Hughes. You didn't want to pay the price. Didn't make your blue line better. You settled for Justin Falk, which I think is fine. You knew you could go out and get a centerman, help solidify that down the middle. You didn't do it. So, you know what I mean? Like, at one point, you got to help yourself. You wasted an opportunity that was in front. There were multiple centers that were there. I get not wanting to pay the price, but the other side of that coin is they don't make the playoffs now. So
there we go. So you'd have a first round of Buffalo, Boston, and then Tampa, Montreal, and then you'd have Carolina, Pittsburgh, which they play a lot down the stretch too, and then you'd have Islanders, Blue Jackets, which I think would be an interesting series where I'd have to give the lead to the Islanders. Now we got to do the last division. We agree that Utah's going to get one of those wild card spots, and the other wild card will come from the Pacific. Just was going to get that one from the Pacific here. So I think we put Vancouver 8th, Calgary 7th. Is that reasonable?
I think that's where they belong.
Okay. And then 6th place here. This is where it gets interesting because somebody's got to finish down there, and it's not going to be Edmonton, Vegas, or
it's probably going to be Seattle. Let's keep it a stack here. Seattle has done. They sit 4th right now. I don't think they're like a real team. I think they're just existing.
They'll fade.
They'll fade into oblivion. They don't score goals. And they give up. They're also not very good. Nobody wants to win the Pacific. And that's absolutely bonkers.
Well, that's what we're going to try and sort out here with the next positioning here. So I think we can agree the Sharks and the Kings aren't in the running in the division. They're definitely going to be 4th and 5th. It's just a matter of who do you think finishes ahead here between those two, unless you think Edmonton's going to fall further down. I don't see that happening. Current standings, Anaheim's got 75 points and a game in hand on Edmonton in second place at 72, tied with Vegas at 72, but the regulation win edge goes to Edmonton. Seattle 4th at 67. The Kings have 67. The Sharks have 66, but they have 2 games in hand on the Kings here, and also a game in hand on the Kraken. My next Sharks game will be a week from Saturday when Philly comes to town. Looking at the strength of schedule that is remaining for these teams here, I
think San Jose also has the tiebreaker. They definitely have the tiebreaker. Everybody has the tiebreaker against the Kings. Everybody.
Yes.
The Kings don't.
Now
the Kings just lose in overtime.
Right. The Kings and the Ducks have the easiest and second easiest schedules, respectively, the rest of the way. San Jose 4th easiest, Vegas 6th easiest. So there you go. A lot of that because they're playing lower teams in the Pacific, like the Vancouvers and Calgarys of the world. Edmonton is 4 spots behind Vegas, so they've got the 10th easiest schedule remaining. Who do you think? Let's do that. Do you have a lean on 4th or 5th? Because I'll be a little bit of a homer, but I think the Sharks finish 4th and the Kings finish 5th.
That's exactly how I had it.
All right, so that means the Sharks will get in as the wild card 2, probably there. We said Utah would be the wild card 1. So now it's a matter of 1, 2, 3. I think the Ducks end up winning the division.
They're the only team that looks like they want to win. They're 8-2 in their last 10. No other team in the Pacific is over 500 in their last 10. The Oilers are 4-6. The Golden Knights are 4-6. The Kraken are 4-6. 3-6-1 for the Kings. Sharks are 3-5-2. Let's just forget the Flames and Canucks even exist. So the only team that cares, or that is wanting to be there, is Anaheim. So, I mean, I guess, and the Ducks have, I would say, a decent amount of flaws. I mean, defensively on the road, it is quite the experiment. This was a team that won a bunch of games in a row, that lost a bunch in a row, and the team goaltending is not great. Anaheim leads this division, and they're a -7 goal differential. It can't be on the same planet. It can't be. This division is just, this is what the Metro was a couple years ago. Just who wants it? Who wants to be here? The Anaheim Ducks are going to finish first with probably a minus goal differential, and the Avalanche are +82 in the goal differential. So we're not these are two different leagues, completely different leagues.
So if we have Anaheim in first, which, yeah, like you said, when they go on the road, it becomes different. So the first round in the Pacific is going to be lit, because any of these teams can beat any of these teams. And granted, I think the Sharks end up having to cross over and play the Avalanche, so they probably don't get more than a game. But Utah coming in to play Anaheim, Utah would absolutely give them fits. So
absolutely.
Do we want to put? I mean, I can give you reasons to make it Vegas, Edmonton, and Edmonton, Vegas. Goaltending is not great on either side. Vegas doesn't really beat a lot of quality opponents, but you can't trust Edmonton to protect the lead. So who's getting home ice in this inevitable Vegas Edmonton series?
I think Edmonton is better. Edmonton is better on home ice than Vegas is. And I mean, only one of those teams has McDavid and Draisaitl. Not that Marner and Eichel and the rest of the gang aren't good, but they're not McDavid. So if anything, he can will them into position. In this division, I feel like you want to finish first. You want to avoid having to play somebody in your own division. And it would probably suit the Oilers best. The problem is that they don't want it. And they don't have the goaltending for it. So I would gladly take 7 games of Edmonton Vegas, because that way we can just pound the over every night, right? Take our winnings. You could roll those over, and you paid off your mortgage basically, because there's no sign of defense in that series, and there's no sign of goaltending to exist. Aiden Hill is a trash can, and then Tristan Jarry shows up and he's like, wait, I can do one better. I can be even worse. So I mean, good luck in the Pacific, I guess. I don't know.
The Sharks are probably the only team that wants to play in the Pacific in the first round, because it means avoiding Colorado, which is basically, maybe they play an exciting game with them a few times, but Colorado's going to win that series. It's just a matter of a sweep, or if San Jose manages to steal one.
San Jose's road game in Colorado would I mean, listen, you can just chalk those games up as an L and then say, all right, let's just go home and see what we can do. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, but it for one team mostly when they're at home.
So just to review, we have the Avalanche playing the Sharks in the first round, the Oilers playing the Golden Knights, the Ducks playing the Mammoth in a crossover there, and then Dallas, Minnesota, no surprise there. And in the Eastern Conference, we would have a Buffalo, Boston first round series to accompany a Tampa, Montreal series. And then in the Metro, it would be Carolina versus Pittsburgh and the Islanders versus the Blue Jackets. So there we go. Now, we're here to make picks on Thursday, so let's not waste any more time. All right, folks, it is a Thursday night puck and preview. It is a lot of games tonight, a lot of 14, in fact. Only four teams have the night off tonight, so kudos to them. First up on the docket here is going to be the San Jose Sharks, my Sharks at the Bruins. If you're looking to make a play here on the money line as we refresh, thank you, DraftKings. The Sharks the Bruins minus 162 home favorite. Sharks plus 136 on the money line. Total 6.5. If you want the Bruins on the puck line to cover a puck and a half, plus 154. I've got nothing on this one. It's going to be Nedeljkovic versus Swayman. I really don't have a lean on this game. I think Boston ends up winning. If you wanted to go on the regulation money line there, it would be minus 105 would probably be the one play I have, but I could see San Jose getting the win too.
I'm gonna go with the under 6.5 here. The Sharks are good, but the Bruins have been decent on home ice. The goaltending's been fine. I think the Nedeljkovic might be a slight upgrade from Askarov. It's not that Askarov's bad. It's just listen. The over under is break even exactly. So the slight lean on the under there. I think maybe we get like a 4-2 finish, maybe with an empty net, or maybe we see a completely one-sided like 5-1 kind of finish.
To comment on the Nedeljkovic Askarov, here's the difference. Nedeljkovic has experience playing behind, we'll say, defensively porous teams. So he's been there before. He knows how to handle that. Where Askarov, when he was playing with the Barracuda, they were actually a pretty decent team. So he had, relatively speaking, for the AHL level, he had a good defense in front of him. So I think he's learning how to adjust playing without necessarily that defensive support, that hopefully they will address that in the offseason, help him out a little bit. So yeah, I would say Nedeljkovic, slightly better goaltender. That doesn't mean Askarov is not still a goalie of the future. So there we go. Chris has got the under in that one. The next up one I've got here is the Capitals at the Sabres. Charlie Lindgren versus Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen here. Looking on the money line. Sabres, heavy home favorites, minus 218. Capitals plus 180. Road dogs here. Total 6.5. Sabres on the puck line. Cover a puck and a half is plus 114. If you think the Capitals can keep it within 2, minus 135. So could have a little bit of value there. Where is your lean on this one? Because I was looking at regulation, but with the Capitals being on the back-to-back, the Sabres continue to be a wagon. It's Charlie Lindgren in net. I am tempted by that puck line.
I will take the Sabres in regulation. They have been very good at beating teams that don't win. So when they face teams that win about 50% of their games, they're 22-6 on the season, which is absolutely just remarkable. They are in the second game of a back-to-back here for the Capitals. They're 3-8 on the year, so it's been a struggle for them. And the Capitals they don't score enough goals. This is a team that just they don't pound the back of the net like they used to. And again, Buffalo is a wagon. They are, if you could calculate wagon per 60, they'd be at the top of it. And I mean, listen, no offense to Charlie Lindgren, but he's not Logan Thompson. So just, we're just spitting some numbers here, give me Buffalo in regulation. I know it's not fantastic, but listen, it's good enough for me.
I know we talk about the Stars winning streak, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 in a row for the Buffalo Sabres right now. They got Washington. And here's the thing. They close off their homestand against the Capitals tonight and the Leafs on Saturday. They could be on a 10-game road 10-game winning streak when they head out west to play Vegas, San Jose, LA, and Anaheim. You know what? Some bets I placed coming into the show, some I want to talk out a little bit, but you know what? I'm gonna get on the wagon for a night. Give me Buffalo minus 1.5 at plus money there. Give me on the puck line there. If the Capitals weren't on a back-to-back, I'd be a little more hesitant here, but didn't look that good against the Flyers last night. Had to travel, so you'll take the safer route in regulation. I will take I'll go a little bit further and take them on the puck line there. Ducks at Maple Leafs, 7:00 Eastern here. Let's refresh the starting goaltenders for tonight because we know it's going to be Joseph Woll for the Leafs. I did not have who it was going to be for Anaheim last time I checked. As we scroll through, let's see here. Still not confirmed yet, but we can assume Lucas Dostal on the money line here. The Ducks the Leafs are minus 110 each right now. Total is 6.5. What does Vegas know that we don't know? If the money line is minus 110 for each, Total 6.5. I go over 6.5 minus 125 here. Anaheim, one of the top over teams in the league. No reason to think Toronto is going to slow them down in that regard. I know they struggle a little bit more on the road, but this just has high scoring games written all over it.
I'm going to take the Ducks. That is a disrespectful number for Anaheim. I know the road, like their road game is not, it's not fantastic, but Lucas Dostal has one loss since February. So since February 1st. Now, he has been bailed out by the offense, but that's sometimes what your offense is going to do. They're going to bail you out. It's what they do. The Ducks could score goals. I know on the road it's not great. John Carlson's still not playing, but a lot of the money is coming in on the Ducks. So I know that means you should go the other side. I just think the Ducks win. Like the Leafs don't care. They're on the golf course. They can't wait to get out of there. They had 5 shots on goal in the first period against a Montreal Canadiens team. I was just like, I don't understand how this is happening. You should be able to throttle shots against Montreal, which some teams do, and the Leafs just don't look like they care.
FanDuel has them as slight favorites at minus 111, Anaheim minus 108, just so we throw that out there as well.
Okay. Well, listen, maybe Vegas knows something we don't know, but I know the Ducks can score goals, and the Leafs are they're checked out. They're not here.
And yes, like the Ducks are not as good on the road, but like they're 14 and 15 on the road. So like
the Leafs are just bad everywhere. Again, one of these teams is leading a division.
14,
the
15.
other is at the bottom of it. So I get those divisions are not the same. I get it. But again, why is it so even? What did I miss? When did the Leafs all of a sudden care?
Well, maybe I'm going to tell you on the money line there because I mean, I know sometimes things are too good to be true, but that's I'm sorry. That seems like a gift.
If it's too good to be true, then if it's too good to be true, I just gave all my credit card information to a Nigerian prince. You know what I mean? It is what it is. I got scammed. It happens.
It happens. All right. Next game on the docket here as we continue to stay in the 7:00 Eastern window. We got the Red Wings at the Lightning here. Could be a playoff preview. You never know. John Gibson confirmed for the Red Wings. Don't know who it'll be for the Lightning yet. Could be Vasilevsky here. Looking on the money line, the Detroit, that's the regulation money line there. Detroit plus 180 road dogs, Tampa to minus 218 for home favorites. Total is 6.5 here. I with no Larkin and stuff, I would look at the Lightning, at minus 140 in regulation. It's probably last chance for that one. I'm going to stay away from this one, but I think that's where I would go.
Yeah, I just don't want it's too heavily juiced for the Lightning. I mean, John Gibson has been fantastic the minute he leaves like Little Caesars. He all of a sudden he figures out his game. But I don't like that Detroit's down Larkin and that they're down, Copp. Those are guys who have to, who could play their role. Tampa Bay is healthy too, ish. I don't know if Radish is going to play, but even if he doesn't, I mean, points there, you know what you're getting out of Kucherov, Gensel, Hagel, like they're so deep, I would say. I mean, Victor Hedman is still a defenseman on that team. Vasilevsky is who he is. If anything, I think this is a tighter game than people want to believe it'll be. But
would you take Detroit plus a puck and a half minus 135 with all that said?
I would think about it. I'd think about it long enough. A minus 135, like it's close enough.
Because you don't get a lot of plus puck lines that you're like, yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, you're right. I like it could stay close. The problem is maybe you get burnt by that empty net goal because, like for Detroit, it's like, hey, I don't need tomorrow. I need today. So I don't.
So we're staying away. Is the bottom line here.
I can't get behind the plus 1.5 yet for the Wings. I just think they might struggle a little bit. But it does say a lot that, plus 1.5 is minus 135. They're expecting it to be they're expecting Tampa Bay to come out here and kind of run the table, and I just don't think that's going to happen with John Gibson. But I do think that they can cover.
He plays well on the road.
You're right. So, no.
No play from either of us on this one. On that game, it's a 14-game slate. We're bound to skip a couple. Blue Jackets at Panthers. It's going to be Elvis Merzlikins versus Sergei Bobrovsky. Blue Jackets road favorites -122. Panthers +102. Home dogs total 6.5 here. These two teams played last week with Columbus winning. So what's your take on this one, Mr. Merez?
I will take Columbus to win. I'll take their money line outright. They have played a lot better since Rick Botus took over, and it's the attention to the defensive side of the game that has improved. Before, when Elvis Merzlikins was in goal, you kind of just said, "Hey, man, let's just," you know what I mean? We can't go down that path. Werenski's back in the lineup. That's going to help. The Panthers don't really have anything to play for here, so I don't think you're going to see a team coming out here just really swinging. Brad Marchand's now is out. I don't think Carter Verhaeghe's going to play either. This team's already banged up from everything, so adding more bodies to the banged up list just doesn't make it better. I'll take the road favorites here in Columbus. I think that's decent amount of money. It opened at +106, so unfortunately we're on the other side of the coin there, but I think the Blue Jackets can come out. They need these games, right? They need to beat teams behind them. This is one of them.
And part of the reason that, I think Vegas is catching up to the fact that Florida is probably I hate to use the term mailing it in for the rest of the season, but they've played a lot of hockey. There's no reason for them to, they could easily come back and win the division and win the cup next year after a year off. So they're not really going to be pushing hard down the stretch here. So there we go. So I would tell you on that as well, taking them on the money line there. Maybe if they did win 4-2, the Blue Jackets last week at home, maybe it's a little bit of a tighter affair. That's why the money line gives you a little value there. Flames at Devils here. That's another 7:00 Eastern puck drop. A lot of those tonight. We're almost out of that window, I promise. Dustin Wolf getting the road start versus Jacob Markstrom. Looking to play any plays on the money line. Devils -192 home favorites. Flame +160 road dogs. Totals 5.5 here. I would lean under because this is two of your more under teams in the league, but I'm not touching this game. Not a chance. I don't trust either side here for either. Devils probably win the game. You want to maybe go with them on the puck line. I could be talked into that, but I'm not touching this one.
I will touch the puck line. Absolutely. 100%. The Calgary Flames are on a road trip that doesn't matter. They're playing the third game in 4 nights. This team is irrelevant offensively. They have no offense. Their blue line is trying, and Dustin Wolf on the road is 5-15-0 with a save percentage of 8 something. So as good as Wolf can be, he struggles, especially when his team doesn't get the matchup. So the Devils have been better since Jack Hughes has been in the lineup. I know, shocking.
Surprise.
I know. And it looks like some of those guys are starting to shoot the puck. I don't know if the Devils really feel like they are, maybe they feel they have a chance. And maybe they just got to pick up some wins and keep going and keep pushing. But I will take the puck line for the Devils. I think there's more than enough there. If I'm getting them at what? Plus
145, you can get the puck line right now.
There you go. So I'm more than willing to swallow that. I will also take the under. I know those two go against each other, but at the same time, I don't see the Devils putting up a 7 spot by accident. I feel like this ends up being 4-0 because the Devils don't necessarily generate a ton of offense. They don't score a ton of goals either. The Flames just can't, they just can't score, period. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where they are on the planet. They can't score goals. That team is offensively challenged, and that's putting it lightly.
Caesars has the under 5.5 at even money. So does Bet 365. So if you like that, that's the one place that you can make it an even money bet. Not a bad way to go. Leaning on the under there. I got to think about whether I want action on that one. But one that I am going to take the puck line on is the next start, and this is the Blues at the Hurricanes. Last of the 7:00 Eastern puck drops. It's going to be Jordan Binnington versus Brandon Bussey. I got the Hurricanes minus to cover the puck line at -110. I know the Blues have been on a bit of a run lately behind Yoel Hofer. He's not playing tonight. I also think that balloon burst when the Islanders rallied from a 3-0 deficit halfway through the second period the other night to get that victory. Good teams like Carolina know when they need to get an easy 2 points. For every reason here, give me the Hurricanes here. This is one of those you don't think about it too much.
Yeah, puck line here for the Hurricanes as well. I'm right there with you. When Jordan Binnington plays, the Blues are 9-23. There's probably an overtime loss in there. It doesn't matter. They're all L's. Binnington's just not very good. Jonathan Drouin's not in the lineup. He has gone back home because he needs some new clothes. I guess he couldn't buy any in St. Louis. So one body less there. Shane Gostisbehere is not going to play. I don't think that is like going to completely fall apart here. Carolina will just slot somebody in here, but the Hurricanes are a team, like, they shoot the puck a ton on the road. They should be able to shoot. They shoot almost as much on home ice. They are the better team by a wide margin. They can go out here and just absolutely pound the Blues into the ground and run it, make it hard, make life difficult. Binnington's not stopping the puck. So I'm right there with you on Carolina. There's also, like, if you're looking at a ton of shot props that you want to take the over on, literally any player with a 2.5 over, you should probably be taking the over on it. It makes good sense.
Now, the total's 5.5. The Blues have scored 4 or more goals in 4 straight games, so maybe the total is not the way to go there, but we're both on the puck line there. You're looking to grab the puck line anywhere online right now. As I pull that up here. Minus down to -105 in some spots. So I got down to -110. Maybe I should have waited. But nonetheless, that's probably a good, smart way to go here as we leave the 7 o'clock Eastern puck drops and get to the 8 o'clocks here. Oilers at the Stars here. Looking at the goaltending matchup for this one's going to be Tristan Jarry versus Jake Ottinger. Looking to play any money line plays here for either of these squads. Let's see what Dallas is now up to as a refresh. Dallas -125, home favorites. Edmonton +105, road dogs. Total is 6.5. Now up -130 for the over, and that's where I'm going. It's Tristan Jarry. It's the Dallas Stars. They're on a roll. They might do the bulk of the work by themselves tonight, and with McDavid and Draisaitl, I see them pushing back. So yeah, over 6.5, -130.
I mean, listen, the whole mortgage right on the over. You got. I mean, Jake Ottinger I think he's the modern day version right now of Martin Jones. So he wins a lot of games, but through no reason of his own. He honestly probably sets his team back. If he played less, I think the Stars would be better. And statistically, that's been proven. Casey DeSmith has been much better than him. So Ottinger's got like 26 wins and a save percentage below 900. He's a problem. And now Connor McDavid is in town and Leon Draisaitl, and I expect them to be trailing. I expect the Oilers to be trailing early, which means those two superstars are going to be on the ice a lot, and they're going to run it down Ottinger's throat. So I expect a lot of opportunities on both sides. The Oilers have a very good power play. The Dallas Stars have a very good power play. Once these two teams start taking bad penalties, like once you get on the power play, it's going to end up at the back of the net. And Tristan Jarry, I mean, he can't stop anything, right? Like Leon Draisaitl once said, they need to score 5 to win a game. And if they score 5, they're right there, almost the 7. So I expect Dallas to be able to keep up. Lots of back and forth. I will be tuning into the 8 p.m. game.
There's some -125 for the over and 6.5 out there. Edmonton, the second highest scoring team, goals for average per game in the league. Dallas is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th in that. In terms of goals allowed, Dallas is pretty good, second stingiest in the team, but the second stingiest in the league. Problem is Edmonton is the 6th worst in terms of goals allowed. So definitely overplay here. Definitely one to go heavy on as we continue to roll through the 8 o'clock Eastern slate. We got the Flyers at the Wild. 8 o'clock Eastern puck drop. Minnesota is on a back-to-back here after beating the Capitals last night. Wild -225 home favorites. No surprise there. Flyers +185 road dogs. Total is 5.5. If you're looking for a regulation play in this one, that's probably where I go. Minnesota, I got it at -140. It's now up to -145. I know it's just something tells me maybe Philly keeps it somewhat close. I think the Wild win the game, but I don't know. Something tells me to stay away from the puck line here, and that's why I'm gonna go regulation. That's why I went regulation, I should say.
I will not, because I'm not as I'm not as reasonable as you are. Give me the Minnesota minus 1.5. I know they played yesterday. I get it. But the Flyers are just bad. Flyers just they don't generate anything. Um, Dan Vladar gets the start, so that does keep this game close. We probably need an empty net goal to get there. But the good news is the Flyers will be trailing in the third, so lots of opportunities for that to happen. I expect this game to get off to a slow start. They're, Minnesota trying to figure it out. But as this keeps moving, the Flyers are just not going to be able to find the back of the net. So I think Jesper Wallstedt gets the start. Doesn't really matter because Minnesota, again, they won what 5-0 against Utah. Like it wasn't a really I won't say it was an taxing game, but they reminded everybody that they are a really good offensive and defensive team, which we can't say about the Flyers. They are not exciting. Once they fall behind, that's it. We're done. That offense can't come back. So give me all of that. I'm perfectly fine with it. I will swallow. I get Minnesota puck line at plus money. So I'll take it.
There you go. So I'm on regulation victory. Chris going to take the puck line there. Last of the 8 o'clock Eastern puck drops. My Rangers at the Jets. It's going to be Igor Shesterkin versus Connor Hellebuck. On the money line here, the Rangers are road dogs plus 130, Winnipeg minus 155, totals 5.5 here. If you want to go regulation route for either of these teams, Rangers plus 210, Winnipeg minus 105. Taking the Rangers money line here, I got it plus 136. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, that Laffy Mika Gabe Perreault line is doing pretty well right now. Igor's in net. Rangers are playing well for once. Jets, they're playing better, but Rangers aren't going to have too many spots here where you think you can take them on the road and maybe get them at plus money. And I think this is one of them here. Going to lean into the good vibes. There haven't been a lot of good vibes with the Rangers this year. Going to lean into it here. And also, I would lean under due to for the total due to the goaltending matchup, but I'm not going to play that. I do like the Rangers to get a road victory in Winnipeg tonight.
The under does seem appealing. I'll go with the under there. Good Connor Hellebuck, Igor Shesterkin. Good old school battle. The Jets don't really score goals. I know the Rangers are better on the road, but that still doesn't inspire much confidence. So I'm going to stay away from having to trust either one of these teams to do something. I'm just going to trust two former Vezina Trophy winners in keeping the puck out of their own net.
All right, so you got the under 5.5 minus 105. I've got the Rangers money line plus 136. We are in the lone 9 o'clock Eastern puck drop here. We reach the top of the hour here. We're an hour away from the previous puck drops. You can always scroll back to get our picks for the earlier games for the night and catch up as we go here. Blackhawks at Mammoth, going to be Arvid Soderblom versus Karel Vejmelka. Looking on the money line here, the Mammoth heavy home favorites minus 218. Blackhawks plus 180. Road dogs totals 5.5 here. Over minus 135, under plus 114. If you're looking for a puck line play on either side, Mammoth cover a puck and a half plus 114. The Blackhawks getting a puck and a half minus 135. Here it is. My opposite rules going in play tonight, despite everything pointing to the under. All 3 meetings so far have gone the under. Chicago, 3rd best under team in the league. They're also the 6th worst scoring team. But this is their 3rd meeting since the beginning of the month. They have got to be tired of playing one another, and I think some penalties and special team goals happens. And to have all 4 meetings for the season go under, crazier things would happen. But I got the over 6.5 plus 114 at DraftKings last night. Total currently 5.5 there. That's where I'm going. I think we're seeing some goals tonight. It's Soderblom in net.
No, I'm going under. The Hawks just they have no offense. Doesn't matter. Who's scoring goals for the Hawks? And listen, it can't be the Mammoth doing all the work. So I will take the under 6. It's still in some spots, so that I know. Under 6 is fine. I get your opposite rule. I like to stick with some facts. And listen, the Hawks have won. They've beat the Mammoth 3 times this season. And I was like, okay, this must have happened at the beginning of the year at some point. And then I realized, no, they've done it recently. And I'm like, there's no way Utah fighting for a wild card spot is dropping games to the Chicago Blackhawks. Like, we can't be doing that. But I can't swallow -2 something with that, like, when you've lost 3 games, right? So I can't do that. The opposite rule doesn't apply to me here. I think we see another tight game. Both these teams understand each other. I get it. The problem is, again, the Blackhawks can't score. So
Vemelka's been weak since coming back from the Olympics. That's working. 3-3, 3-5 goals against, 871 save percentage.
But again, it's the Blackhawks. So who's scoring for them?
Maybe Bedard gets a couple. I think you're going to get 4 or 5 here from Utah. I just need 1 or 2 from Chicago. With the way Vemelka's playing,
that's asking a lot from Chicago on the road to score 2 goals.
I know. But
no, I'm going with the under.
I can't wait for this game, and I am rubbing my face on.
I'm going to be well passed out, and then here comes Adam with the, I told you so.
Listen, I've got the 7:30 puck drop in my local game tonight. It's 10:30 Eastern, so you might still be awake by the time I get out and check the score of that game, because that's a 6:00 puck drop.
That's true. You're right.
By the time I get out, that game will be over. So I might go before bed. We got the Predators at the Canucks tonight. Let's see what the goaltending matchup's going to be here. Nikita Tolopilo, I can't ever say his name correctly, or Tolopilo. He's starting for the Canucks. We can assume it's UC Saros for the Predators here. This is actually going to be, I know there's 2 more games to go, but this is my last pick of the night. I got Nashville to win in regulation -105. We mentioned before they sold off some of their bottom 6 roster parts, but they still have the team that's been driving the team for the most part. Stamkos, O'Reilly, Marchessault, among others, Yossi. Vancouver's played them well this season, so I don't want to go full puck line. The regulation was where it was at for me. I don't trust the Canucks, and frankly, Nashville still feels like they have something to play for, and they're still in the mix. So this is, if you think you're a playoff team, as delusional as that might be with the Predators, these are points you got to have. They looked good against the Kraken the other night. I think the momentum continues here in Vancouver in the Pacific West.
The Canucks have won, exactly, if my math is correct here, 6 games on home ice, and we are midway through March. So not that the Preds have been any better at winning on the road, but it's just it's absolute comedy watching the Canucks play. They need to lose every game to secure their spot with the best odds to win the first overall pick. So maybe the Predators think there's still a chance that they can make the playoffs. We know that's not true for the Canucks. They're rolling out bodies that are there. They're trying to build for the future, right? So there are going to be some long games ahead of them, some brutal nights. Nashville can shoot the puck as well. They got some guys who can fire away at that. They're a good road team when they decide they want to put pucks on goal. I'll go with you here. I'll take Nashville in regulation as well. I think that's getting them close to even money. I feel like is a steal. I don't expect this to be a goaltending battle, but I expect the Predators to be able to pull away at some point.
I mean, if you look at the way they've played, like they've only won 2 over their last 6 games, but 4-2 over Seattle the other night and 6-3 over Boston at home. They lose 3-2 to the Sabres in Buffalo, so they play a red hot Sabres team right down to the wire. Will only lose by a goal. They lose at Columbus by 1 goal. They lose to Detroit 4-2. They lose in overtime to the Stars. So it's a 2-3-1 run in their last 6. These are close games. This is a bad opponent. I think they break through here. I don't want to go puck line because Vancouver has played. They've beaten them once and they kept it within a goal once. So that's why regulation the way to go there. Next up, we got the Penguins at the Golden Knights. Goaltending matchup for this one's going to be Artur Shilovs versus Aiden Hill. Looking to make a play here as we refresh at DraftKings. For the money line, it would be the Vegas Golden Knights -155, Penguins Road Dogs +130, total 6.5 here. This is a stay away spot for me. Maybe you go over if you don't think either goalie can get things going. Maybe that's a way to go. It's slight plus money at +102, but stay away from me.
I'm going to take a slight lean on the Penguins money line. I just think that's too juiced for Vegas. Aiden Hill is just, man, he's bad. There's bad, and then there's whatever Aiden Hill's been doing. He has not been good. When he is in goal, it just I don't know. You can't stop a beach ball. So I don't. It could end up being a high scoring game. I get that. This is, the Penguins have been decent on the road. It's not great, but I just think there's too much value there on the Penguin side. I think that number should be closer to even. That's not the case. Too much love for Vegas. They're not necessarily elite on home ice either. Um, I will take the Penguins there. I know they got one win in their last four, but so do the Vegas Golden Knights. So I'm just going to take some value here and go with the Penguins.
That should be at least an exciting. That's probably going to be the best entertainment value matchup of the three of the late slates here. Predators, Canucks, Penguins, Golden Knights, and finally Colorado Avalanche at the Seattle Kraken here. It's going to be Joey Decord versus Scott Wedgwood on the money line here for the Avalanche -205 road favorites. Kraken +170 home dogs. Total is 6.5 here. This is another stay away spot for me, but if I had to give a lean, it would probably be over 6.5 be my lean if I was looking at that. But I'm staying away.
I won't. I will definitely take Colorado's puck line there. I know the Kraken like to keep it tight. The problem is like Nathan McKinnon got ejected from a game that he should have never gotten ejected from.
Correct.
The NHL has been like, hey, my bad, bro. By the way, it was not a major penalty. They've rescinded it. They've said, hey, we apologize for doing that. But an angry Nathan McKinnon is always a good Nathan McKinnon. So I don't necessarily trust the Kraken offensively. They're not good. They're just a cluster of mediocrity. So once they fall behind, that's it. There's no coming back from it. I think the Avalanche can get out to an early lead. I think they can close this out. So I will take them on their puck line. I know it's not great, but I'm not trusting Seattle. Not at this hour.
You've convinced me to take them in regulation -135. Still,
that's tolerable. That's still good. That's good. Yeah. I think the empty net goal comes in because they're going to need to because it's the Kraken. They may they may be down 2-1 and have to pull the goalie with like 7 minutes left. See if they can get a chance. But I can also see Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar doing whatever they want on the ice.
Now, it was a good week for us last week. I went 4-1. You went 4-2. So that was a pretty strong Thursday for us. Let's recap the picks from this one here as I go through here. So we just went through Avalanche Kraken. I'm taking them in regulation -135. Chris has them on the puck line +114. Penguins Golden Knights, no official plays, but I lean over 6.5 +102. Chris leans Penguins money line +130. Looking at the Predators Canucks game, we're both taking them in regulation. Predators in regulation at -105. Blackhawks Mammoth, we're going opposites. I got over 6.5 +114. He's going under 6 -110. Rangers Jets, he's going to take the under 5.5 -105. I got the Rangers money line at +136. Flyers Wild, I'm going to take the Wild in regulation -140. Chris has got them covering the puck line at +120. Oilers Stars, both all over the over 6.5 -130. We both love that one. And then looking back to the 7 o'clock Eastern puck drops, we're both on the Hurricanes puck line -1.5. Chris likes the Devils on the puck line +145 and under 5.5 and Flames Devils. We're both on the Blue Jackets money line -122 at Florida. Both staying away from Detroit, Tampa. Ducks Leafs, I've got the over 6.5. We've both got the Ducks money line at -110. Looking at Capital Sabres, Chris is going to go the safer route in regulation -140. I'm going to go full blown puck line -puck.5 +114 for the Sabres against the Capitals. And then in the Sharks Bruins game, I'm staying away. Chris is taking the under 6.5. So there you go. 14 game board. We got it done. Not too shabby.
Listen, I think every single one of my picks is a winner, which means at least one of yours is an L, at least one.
Yeah, we'll see. That's the one that I've, it's not the one with the most, most value tonight, but that's kind of the one I want the most. That and the Rangers money line. Those would be the two I'd want the most, just so I can rub it. Because I also went over 6.5. I didn't even go 6, 5.5. I'm like, no, these teams are scoring goals tonight. It's happening.
Listen, I disagree.
There you go. Now, what do you got going on over at the Slapshot podcast? That was fun to do the trade deadline coverage last Friday, even if there wasn't a whole lot to talk about.
There was not a lot to talk about. If you didn't watch it, I mean, I don't know, man. You got picks, you got picks from us. I got to eat food. That was great. We didn't have many trades, but that is beyond the point. New episode comes out tomorrow. You're gonna ask me what it's about. I'm hoping something happens. If not, I'm gonna have to talk about Jacob Fowler, Samuel Montembeau, and Jakub Dobes again. I wish that would figure itself out, but it won't. And I promised myself I won't talk about why Brendan Gallagher isn't the problem, because I might have to throw something at somebody.
I feel like he's done enough with the organization that he'd be somebody.
Listen, some people think he's the problem in the bottom six, and then you dig into the metrics and you're like, oh, of course he's not.
I wouldn't expect anything less. And of course, we talked earlier about ads at Subway to Shea podcast. You're home for World Baseball coverage right now. Rip and Riff's going to be off this week with myself and Mr. Jared Moore, but we'll be back on the 23rd to discuss things there. But there we go, folks. Earlier in the show, we gave you our predictions for how we think the divisions are going to wrap up in terms of final standings and what we think the playoff matchups are going to be. And we gave you picks for all 14 games. But at Fuzzy Chris 91, I am at Fucking Talk Adam Bernard. Back again next Thursday, March 19th, with another full-blown breakdown of the NHL slate that night. Picks. We'll have a little fantasy hockey playoff advice as well to pass out. Hopefully, all of our teams get into the playoffs. Good luck for yours as well. But talk to you next week. Thank you, folks.